Good morning, guys. My name is Matthew Kaufman. Today I'm actually going to look at a new property, and I'm kind of unsure about it. I looked at the details, actually went to look at the property itself yesterday with my parents, just to see what it looked like, what the neighborhood looked like, and I was kind of unsure about it. My parents talked me into it. In the end, it doesn't really hurt to look, obviously. The whole reason I was kind of unsure was based on the location, the neighborhood, the price that they're asking for it. So this property, they're asking $249,000 for it. That's the asking price, of course. I would never pay that. You always, obviously, offer lower than what they're asking. Starting price, that if I was to actually make an offer on this property, of course, before, obviously, I haven't seen the inside of it yet, but I would probably start at maybe say $225, because in the end, obviously, their asking price is $249. So more than likely, they'll probably offer halfway in between, and then we'll kind of go back and forth from there. But when it comes to the location, location's not horrible. I probably was underselling it a bit. It's 2 blocks from the beach, and I walk to the beach, and the homes near the beach are very nice. And on the street that this house is actually on, the lots are very small. We kind of hung out in front of the property for a good 10 minutes just to get a feel for the people in the area and what was going on and everything else. So I mean, we'll find out, obviously. The house itself, me and my dad, we took a walk around the property itself. I was surprised that they didn't actually mow the lawn or do basic things if you actually wanted to sell a property. The yard, the lawn was extremely overgrown. It was the grass was 6-7 inches tall, and so we'll see. The house itself looked very nice. It's a multifamily property. It's 2 units. So for me, when it comes to kind of that 1% rule, meaning if you're someone that's renting out a property, you want to try to have the total income of rent per month 1% of the total cost that you bought the house for. So say the house was $250,000. That means I would want the monthly income for the property to be $2,500, which is 1% of that 250. So we'll see. I mean, obviously they're kind of in that ballpark. I'm definitely gonna have to do comparables to see what the other rentals in the area are looking like for that same size. I'll have to double check what the square footage of each unit is. So I'm gonna take you guys along. I probably won't talk too much when I'm showing it, but I'll definitely do some type of voiceover or something like that. Okay, so I will see you when I get there. Okay. What's up, guys? So this is the property. As you can see, front yard, not terribly well landscaped. Front of the property looks pretty nice overall. Aesthetically, I'm pretty pleased with that, actually. If you look to the left, you'll see those stairs, and that leads up to the second floor. But first, we're going to start with the first floor. So walking in the front door, you walk into what I assume to be a living room area. Front closet that keeps some coats. To the right, you'll see what I assume to be also the master bedroom. First thing I noticed with the overall property was that majority of the rooms had carpeted floors. For me, that's a bit of a downfall, just because obviously when it comes to carpet and rentals, you're going to get smells and everything else. So I personally prefer wooden floors. Walking in more to the left, you see what will be one of the smaller bedrooms on the first floor. Not terribly big, not a lot of closet space. Walking back out, walking into the kitchen. The kitchen, I was actually pretty pleased about. The appliances seem to be somewhat pretty well updated. What I was pretty confused about was this little room right here, but more specifically the bathroom directly in front of you, why it was there. It was just kind of an odd spot for it. And you walk into the bathroom, and first thing I noticed once I turn around is the floor pattern on the bathroom, or excuse me, the shower door. Apparently they were living in the 1970s in this house. So walking back out, back into whatever room this is, back into the kitchen. I like the lighting a lot in this house, for first and second floor. One thing I'm a big fan of is natural light. Walking straight forward and down through this hallway. Gonna take a left. Gonna go into one of the other bedrooms, which are relatively small, but not crazy big.
This first floor clearly has 3 bedrooms, or what could be a 2-bedroom and I guess an office. Looking up the stairs will be the second floor. Stand at the top of the stairs. Gonna walk first into the kitchen. Kitchen I was not terribly upset about. Once again, appliances not too bad. Everything is pretty in good condition. Looking out this door, which will be that flight of stairs, which will be the only entrance to the second floor, which I'm not a fan about. Like I said, the outdoor stairs I'm not a fan of, just because with being in Connecticut, weather's gonna be kind of bad. That bathroom actually I liked a lot, the bathtub. This room, not a fan of, because it was small. I almost hit my head walking in the room. Porch, not bad, but unfortunately there's not much of a view. If you're looking straight off the back porch, you'll see that apartment complex, and beyond that is a condominium complex. If both those buildings were not there, you'd have a perfect view of the beach. Like I said, the beach is only 2 blocks away. This room, the door was relatively low. The floor was actually slanted, so my guess is this might not have been an original on the property when they first built it in around 1920. This is one of the bedrooms for the second floor. There should be, I believe, 2 bedrooms on this floor. This should be the larger one. Of course, empty bedrooms, you can't expect too much. You got white walls, a couple windows, the closet. I did like that the majority of these bedrooms did have fans, which is important, I think. Also, being such an old house, there will not be central air or heat. Countertops, old, clearly 1980s-ish. But once again, people aren't buying for the countertops. Right now we're walking down into the basement. Basement, as you'd expect, steep stairs leading down. To the right, you'll see 4 different washing machines, 2 washers, 2 dryers. Seemed like they were pretty well kept. I wasn't unaware whether those would be included in the purchase of the house. With my current property that I own, washers and dryers and everything in the kitchen was included. This space right here, the crawl space, kind of creepy, super dark. I was not a fan of that because it was completely open, and who knows what bugs and animals could get in there. One of the HVAC systems, if you look to the right top, it says 2011 when it was manufactured, which means it was no more than 9 years old, which is a good thing. But as you can see, this piping kind of connects into this other piping for this other machine right here, which is clearly old just by looking at it. And I don't know how old that was. I didn't see any stickers on it telling me how old it was. Leading back out of the basement. This little room right here was clearly an add-on, and not a very good one too, just because, as you can see, there's no actual wall on the inside. You simply just see the insulation. That was my dad telling me all about how he didn't like this room. Gonna walk out the back door. That garage, single car garage. The garage door initially couldn't even get it open. It was kind of rigged, and eventually the realtor came over and somehow figured it out, but definitely not like functional completely. And the electronic door opener did not work obviously either. What I did not like about this garage, as you can see, there's no insulation at all. It's simply just a single layer board, and what I could see, pretty old too. Kind of dangerous not having a cover of any kind on this. This was not the first one I saw on this property like that. So that just shows me that the owner didn't really care much, not even enough to, like, when it came to actually coming time to sell the property, like right now, obviously. He didn't take the time to simply put a cover over it, which would cost little to nothing and aesthetically be a lot more pleasing to the eye. Leading out of the garage, farther into the backyard. As I mentioned earlier, landscaping, really not great. I just don't understand why they wouldn't just like mow the lawn. It would take 15 minutes with such a small yard. The overall acreage on this property is 0.18, so 0.18 acres, which is quite small. So obviously you can assume it's going to take no time to actually mow the lawn. This right here, a little small shed, obviously nothing in it, but could come in handy for the owner, whoever that may be. Probably not going to be me.
All right, guys, so just finished up with that property. I'm probably gonna pass on it overall. They're asking $249,000 for it. The area, it's 2 blocks from the beach. I mean, aesthetically from the outside looking in, for the house itself, is nice. You can tell they definitely redid the siding of the property recently. I think the best thing about the property was the roof. As far as I was told, that it's 6 years old only, which is great. unfortunately, that was like one of the only great things about it. So just to kind of give you a little description, built in 1920. Let me pull up the actual information so I'm not telling you the wrong things. So one unit has 5 rooms with 3 bedrooms, 1 full bath and 1 part bath. Unit 2, meaning the second floor, has 4 rooms, 2 bedrooms and 1 full bath. Like I said before, the property was built in 1920. Overall, the house has 9 rooms, 5 bedrooms, 2 full baths and a half bath. Starting on the outside, like I said, the roof was one of the best things. The garage, which is a 1-car garage, just run down. There were some holes in the side of it that easily could have been patched up, but they took the half-ass way of doing it, just meshing it with just like this wiring, which didn't make sense to me. One thing I'm learning is something I was actually talking to my dad about also, was that seeing properties and kind of learning more and more about it, it shows you whether somebody did something to fix something the right way or the quick and easy way or in the cheap way. And that's what I'm learning, is that a lot of places, especially what previously might have been like multifamily properties where the owner of the property most likely is not living there too. So they're not seeing the day-to-day, they're not keeping up with, what's actually going wrong, like the small things, because those are what actually adds up. Definitely the people that aren't, like I said before, the owners that are not living there are taking the half-ass way of doing things, the cheap way of it, just because they don't want to deal with it, they don't want it to be their headache. That's kind of what I figured out when I bought my first property, was that, especially the previous owners for sure, like so many issues that could have easily been fixed if they were done the right way first. And so those were probably the majority of things on my property that we worked on first, and at this point they're all done with and fixed. But going back to the property I just saw, of course, like obviously the reason I'm making this video. So I talked about the outside. The roof was good, siding was good, looked great. Front of the property looked nice. Obviously they definitely, I don't understand why they didn't mow the lawn. If you're showing the property to people, that's like number one when you first see it. You're gonna see the outside and the front yard. Front yard, sides, and the backyard. Nothing was mowed. You could tell they didn't really care about the landscaping too much, especially the backyard, which is super run down. There was a small shed in the back, nothing special. It was completely empty, so I wouldn't expect too much from it, obviously. Talking about the inside of the property, starting with we'll say the first floor. Overall, actually let me mention this first. I noticed, and I was talking to my dad and my mom and the realtor too, it was very obvious that this home, which was built in the 1920s, was not initially supposed to be a multifamily house. Has, like I said, those couple bedrooms and like a 1.5 baths, and then you walk up the stairs and you could tell they put in a door that clearly does not work, because you open that door, which normally would be locked, obviously if you had people living in the top and second, in the first and second floors, normally it would be locked. When you swing the door open, it literally hits the ceiling, and there's like this worn away piece that clearly over time just like dug into the wall more and more every time that door was opened. So it's kind of funny to see that it's not meant to be a multifamily, and that right there would automatically not want me to buy the property for that reason. If it's not truly a multifamily property, then I just have no interest. And talking about that, the second floor apartment, the only way to get into it is through a stairwell that's on the outside, and this is Connecticut. The winters can be kind of rough sometimes, and so I don't want to deal with, if there were icy steps or if there was snow on the steps or anything that potentially could get somebody hurt. Built recently, but regardless of when they were built, that doesn't stop somebody from getting hurt and falling down the stairs or God who knows what. Overall, the first and second floors, there's a lot of slanted floors, which tells me obviously who knows what the structural foundation is looking like, who knows, last time I redid the floors and what's going on with the property. But that right there is like a very quick indicator that I have no interest. Talking about the bathrooms, the first floor bathroom was just like in a weird spot. First of all, there was 1.5 baths. One of them there was like the kitchen that led into this like dining living room deal. I don't know even what to call it. Then you went into the bathroom, and it was right there. You could tell it was kind of an old bathroom. Obviously, you probably saw that from the videos. Also on this first floor, there was this bathroom that initially I didn't even realize was there, because it looked like it was a closet, and it was the type of closet that you would have like that swing door, and just like look in what I thought was a closet, I opened it, right there in front of me is a bathroom, which I was just shocked about. And it was kind of strange because the bedroom was carpeted and that same carpet led into the bathroom. And I don't think I would ever want carpet, like full carpet in a bathroom. God forbid, like the smells and odors and everything that would get into it. That right there was a downfall to the whole thing too. Talking about the basement first, and then I'll talk about the attic. The basement, very low hanging ceilings. That's kind of like the entire property actually. There's a lot of low hanging ceilings, and I'm 5'9", 5'10" on a good day if I'm feeling good. I was practically hitting my head. And like, God forbid somebody was like mildly tall, they would have so much trouble living in that property. And that would also limit the people that would want to live there too. Like if you're a dude that's 6 foot plus, you're never going to want to live there if you're literally like hunching over walking through your house. So going back to the basement, it was very low hanging for the ceiling. Basement also had a crawl space, which was in no way covered up. It was very creepy. You probably saw it. It was probably kind of dark down there, so maybe you had some trouble seeing it. So God knows, like the animals and bugs and everything else that would get into there and get into the basement and then inevitably get into the house too. So it was not sealed off well at all. I'm pretty sure I showed the tank in the video, and that was not too old. I can't remember off the top of my head. It might have been like maybe 10-ish years old, maybe a little less, which is fine. But there also was another one that was super old, and I don't even want to know when that was put in, or if it's been serviced or anything else along that. Attic was actually surprisingly okay. Like there was a lot of pretty much open space. It was extremely steep to get up to, but that's most attics obviously. Who knows, you know, how well it was insulated. It probably obviously gets very warm in the summer and very cold in the winter, as you'd expect, with lack of insulation of course. So overall, it's a house I'm definitely gonna be passing on. But it's like these learning experiences that I'm really enjoying. Initially, after looking at the property online, I had no interest in actually going to see it. Reason being I did. My parents talked me into it. They're like, it's gonna be a good learning experience. Just go see it, you should. And so I did. And I'm glad I did. I'm really glad I did actually. Just to like see things that are done well, done bad, what I'm looking for and what I'm not looking for. One thing I also didn't mention before, the electricity. A lot of cross wiring, some outlets that just didn't even work, and who knows how much more of an issue that would be if like I went piece by piece looking at the electrical in the house. So one more thing just is a negative. So overall, like I said, passing on the house. I'm gonna wrap it up here. If you guys enjoyed this video, please subscribe, please give it a like, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.